Okay, so today's session, as mentioned in the group, was supposed to be about Maya. You have heard this word Maya?
Yeah.
Any of you have any friends called Maya? What is Maya? I think everybody's jumped.
Maya
Okay.
is illusion.
Illusion. Okay. What does illusion mean? What does it mean?
It is not real actually.
Not real.
It looks like real, but it is not real.
Okay. Anybody else?
That which doesn't exist, but it appears to exist.
That which doesn't exist appears to be exist. Okay. Appears to exist. Okay. Anybody else? Because the fundamental breakthrough in spirituality is about Maya. Spirituality is about freedom from Maya. So you have to know your enemy. So the more if you want to defeat your enemy, you should know your enemy. Right? And Maya is the so-called enemy. We are all trapped in. Maya is explained as a prison, that you are in Maya and you're trapped in Maya. And enlightenment is about going out of Maya. So this is a traditional understanding that I am in Maya and I'm trapped in Maya and I have to go out of Maya. And then going out of Maya is known as enlightenment. Is this true? Are you in Maya? So you said Maya means that which appears to be there but is not there. So that is the very definition, the meaning of the word Maya. Maya means Yama iti Maya. That which is not there but appears to be there. What is this? What is not there and appears to be there? Have you ever seen Maya? Something that is not there and appears to be there? Give me an example in real life.
Yeah, when it's very sunny, in the roads we can see water far away. We feel like seeing water. When we go nearer, it's actually just a reflection or something like that.
Correct. So you see a mirage in the road.
Mirage, yeah.
And you also see a mirage in the desert. If somebody has been to desert, one has been to desert. You've seen a desert. Right? Have you seen a mirage in the desert?
No.
No. Biplav ji has seen a mirage in the desert?
Unfortunately, we went. It was quite bit, towards evening, so mirage was not visible.
No, okay. कुछ भी नहीं मिला वहाँ. ठीक है. So, is that the only example of something that we see and doesn't appear, something that appears to be there and is not there? So the discussion is about Maya, and Maya means that which appears to be there but is not there. And the common understanding and the common approach in spirituality is you are in Maya and you have to go out of, and you're suffering because you're in Maya. And when you go out of Maya, there is a promise of going out of Maya, which is called enlightenment. And if you go out of Maya, you become free from rebirth and suffering and all that. So we are questioning, is this true? So in your own life, you gave an example of the street, as seeing some water on the street. Any other example that you can think of as Maya in your own experience? Do you watch movies on the big screen in that movie theater?
Yes.
It appears to be there. Is it there?
No.
Like you see a fire on the screen. It appears to be there, but is it there? If you go and touch it, is it there?
No.
No. So, and there is all these projections that you see, it commonly in maybe in devices on your phone or a screen of some sort, or any screen. On any screen, you see some image and it appears to be there, but is not there. That part is very clear. So a screen, image, not real, non-real. Is that clear?
Right.
So in anywhere, even in the VR headset, if you wear an Oculus or a headgear, there is a screen. That Oculus has there the end point, the screen. And there is a projection. And that's a three-dimensional projection. But it's still a projection, appears to be there, but it's not there. Correct?
Right.
Now, our entire life is like that. The teaching of Krishna and spirituality is, your entire life is a projection on the screen of consciousness. It appears to be there, but it's not there. For example, right now, just look around in your room. See around. Do you see some objects? You see the room, right? First of all, you see the room. How many of you see the room? Raise your hand. Okay, how many of you see objects in the room? Raise your hand. How many of you can experience the object in the room? Raise your hand. Okay, how many of you think the room is real? Raise your hand. Pallavi, room is real. Pallavi ji, Shanti Bhushan, okay. Mohan, room is real. Viplav ji, room is real. Pratik, room is real. Where you are is real, right? Okay. Everybody is convinced that the room is real. Why do you say it's real? Pallavi ji, why do you say it's real?
Because we can feel it, like coming to the very old topic which we have been discussing. We can feel it. I can feel it.
I can feel it. Whatever I feel is real. Is that statement true?
That's what we feel.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah,
you will tell about the dreams. Like we feel.
You already know the answer.
The three-four stages of consciousness.
Okay, so if
Sleeping
you know the answer,
stage,
you evaluate
the
it
waking
then.
consciousness, and then.
So the statement, whatever I feel is real, is it true?
we don't know, but the thing is, whatever senses that we have, we can validate it, what we think as real. For example, if there is an object, I can move towards the object and touch it, and maybe I can smell it. So, but in case of VR and other things, I cannot.
Okay, let's evaluate what you just said. So the common understanding, I can see it, I can touch it, I can smell it, then I can experience it. So I have some parameters. If because of those parameters, I can come in contact with this, then I say this is real. Okay. Now I will not talk about spirituality. Let's see what science says. According to science, according to quantum physics and the latest science, is this real?
Yes.
No.
So
you know what science says? The explanation of science for our existence. You know, the latest discoveries, what they say, what they have arrived at, the conclusion right now is, and that conclusion keeps changing. Okay, they were at some conclusion a few hundred years ago. Now they're at some conclusion. After some 100 years ago, there'll be another conclusion. The conclusion right now is the universe. What you see. How big is the universe? How big is the world?
very big.
We cannot
Very big.
fathom.
Very big is an understatement. Okay, so I'll tell you what they say. They say that 96% of the universe, let's say this much is the universe, 96%, almost everything, 96% is dark energy and dark matter. You cannot see it, you cannot experience it, nothing. Only 4% is atomic. Okay, 96% is dark energy, dark matter. 4% is atomic. And in the 4%, of the 4%, 99.9% of the 4% is invisible. Invisible interstellar dust, what they say. You cannot see it. It is invisible interstellar dust, which is 99.9% of the 4%. And only 0.1% is your visible universe. What you see as a big giant universe is only 1.1% of the 4% that is visible, that is atomic. Okay, and how much is that 0.1%? In that 0.1%, we have we are on Earth, and Earth is in which galaxy?
Milky Way.
Milky Way galaxy, and there are 2 trillion such galaxies. 2 trillion such galaxies. And out of 2 trillion, over 60 billion of them have Earth-like planets where people can live, or that can have life. Okay, this is the universe, which is only 0.1% of the 4% that is atomic. And when you say atomic, this is atomic. This is made up of atoms, right? So, and they saw, okay, if it is made up of atoms, let's go deeper inside that and inquire. They went deeper inside and they found that the atoms are made up of particles, subatomic particles, and the subatomic particles are made up of particles. And what are the particles?
Protons.
Particles are the last point that they can go to with the instruments that we have. That is the last point. But they also observe that the particles behave in 2 ways. When they're observed, they are particles and they have properties and they can be measured and known. But then when they're not observed, they become waves. Okay? And waves means what? And waves are they just exist as possibilities. So the entire universe, which is the 0.1% of the 4%, is it solid or is it a possibility? Your room, is it real or is it a possibility? According to science, according to just what I just said, of what science has experimented and arrived at the conclusion about the universe, according to that statement, your room is a possibility. It is not solid. The solidity is in your thought, in your mind. You understand? And that is Maya. It is not there, but it appears to be there and gives you a sense that it is there and that you are in that. That is Maya. Now, whether you are in the room or the room is in you, that's another thing. That's another level of Maya. But this is the problem statement. Did you understand the problem statement? Something that is not there appears to be there, including your own body. Your body is not excluded from that atomic universe. Okay? So your body, according to science, also is a possibility. True or false? Mohan? Maya is clear. Is your room real?
Maybe.
Now it's progression. First I knew the room is absolutely true. Now I've come to maybe. Progress. Now from maybe to it's not there. So let's make the journey. Anybody else stuck at it's real? We'll move it to maybe. Has everybody come to maybe point? Anybody needs more convincing? I can give you more explanation. Pratik, is the room real?
I think for me that wave and what is that particle nature of the duality of principle, right? So I did not I got till there, but next to that I could not understand, because so it is how come it became possibility from there?
Okay, so they say it's a possibility because they don't have any way to measure it. Like it doesn't have any units.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot say for certain and prove that it exists. Because a particle, they can say it exists because it's observed, and when it's observed, it behaves like a particle. It's a solid. For example, to simplify it, think about it in terms of ice, water, and vapor.
Yeah.
Okay. As ice, it's solid. As water, it's more fluid. As vapor, it's invisible. So, and wave is not only invisible. Vapor can still be, there's some way to experiment on it and know it, but wave it's beyond any instrumental value as such. There are no units, there is no way to experiment on it or prove it or measure it. So they conclude it exists as a possibility. Is that clear, Pradeep?
Bit.
Okay.
Not completely.
What is not clear?
See, what I understood, the matter can be possible in both the forms, whether it is a particle or wave. So we need to understand when something is not there, that may be in the form of wave. But if it's there in the terms of particle, we already know that there's a particle, and we can observe that. So
Okay,
in
I'll
terms
give you a
of
real
room,
life example. Right now, just look at some object that you are not aware of in the room. Any object, just look at it. Okay. Now you know it was there. What was the object?
some toy.
Some toy. That toy, when you looked at it, it was particle form.
Yes.
When you look away from it, when your observation is not, attention is not on it, it went into the wave form. And when it's in the wave form, for you, it doesn't exist. Only when you observe, it comes back into your perception. Do you understand?
Yeah. But when I touch it, I can feel it, right?
That part will come to. Now, I'll come to that part. Whether the touching part and the experiencing part is also reality. Now we just saw that the entire solid universe is not, which we call a solid, like this solid stone, is nothing but a particle and wave. It can either be a particle or wave. And as both, it is unreal according to science. Okay. The reality is coming because I am getting some, when I touch it, from my hands, there is some electrical signal going into my brain and giving some sort of creating an electrical experience in my head. So when you say I touch it, you do not experience the object. You only experience the interpretation of the signal your brain does, of the signal that came in. So let's say I'm touching the phone. Am I experiencing the phone? Are you experiencing the phone? You are.
Yes.
How your fingers, they touch the phone.
Yeah.
Okay. There are pathways that go into the brain. Experience cannot happen here. Okay. Experience happens here. Let's say the connection from your hand to the brain is cut. You cannot experience the phone. Like for example, when your hand becomes numb, like sit on your hand for a long time, it becomes numb. Then you put the phone or put some heat or cold, you don't experience it. Have you experienced that?
Yeah, I understood. Technically, it's the connector, the signals that is like interpreted in my brain. So that's what my experience.
Your experience.
So that will get generated from my senses or like.
So that you're experiencing only the electrical signal in your head. At any point of time, you have never experienced the outside world. You've only experienced the inner electrical signal and interpreted it in some way. Okay, which you do without the presence of the physical object in your dream. In your dream, you see the entire world. There is no physical world as such, but you get all the same inputs and interpretation and electrical signals in the dream where there is no physical body, neither there is a physical world. Okay, this is Maya. Maya means you are experiencing, seeing, touching, hearing something which is not there and believing it's there. Okay, so and this is not the conclusion. So we will explore on this line of thought. Is it clear? Is the approach clear? So the approach of science and the approach of Vedanta is exactly the same. Both are questioning the experience of the senses, and both come to a conclusion that experience of senses cannot be final, because the senses are only giving some partial signal, and that signal is further interpreted, and the signal can be confusing. It's not a very accurate input that you're getting. So let us go deeper into what is Maya, and first of all, is it real? If it is real, how can I come out of it? Ultimately, it's about you becoming free. Is it clear? Problem statement clear? Anybody else? Any doubt? So the others who are not on video can go on video if possible. Savita, Beena, clear so far?
I think what I clarified after this discussion, so from science we say any matter that can be either particle or wave.
Yeah.
So science itself not sure that when like this particle exists or it will be in the wave, or if it is a wave, maybe it's particle, but we are not able to sense it because it's in terms of situation, it will be in terms of wave. So that's why science is confused, like not confused, maybe they're saying it cannot be real. We are not sure it is a real particle or not.
Right.
It can be anything.
Yes.
According to some power, or I don't know, something,
Yeah.
it can change its behavior.
So right now they have hit a dead end point. Maybe in the future they'll go ahead. I am talking about somebody who's already gone ahead, which is Vedanta. Now I'm talking about Vedanta. Okay, that was just to get you enticed to into the topic, and to tell that they're both in the same line of thought. But Vedanta has gone way ahead a very, very long time ago. Okay, and that is the greatness of this country, Bharata, where we're always at least a few million years ahead in the matter of consciousness and energy. Okay, so we'll see what the scriptures have to say and what Sri Krishna has to say about Maya, and ultimately arrive at a conclusion ourselves and become free. Ultimately, it's about becoming free. If you're free, it doesn't matter whether science is right or spirituality is right. Yeah? Clear?
Sorry, if I can ask one more thing. When you told about the wave and thing, this thought has been in my mind for some time. I don't know whether it's correct or not. Say for any object, anything that is in my hand has the potential energy in it. It's like it's not moving. So I can see it, feel it, or whatever it is. But if it has a kinetic energy, or if it is moving, say in the speed of light, 3 into 10 power 8, so obviously I cannot see it. So is it that in the same lines? Is it like that?
No.
So obviously I cannot see the object when it is moving so speedily, like something like that. I can't feel it.
No, I'll clarify that. I got the question. So I'll tell you a story and then explain the point. So there was, you all know Narada Maharshi, Rishi Naradji. So Narada Maharshi had the same question: what is Maya? And he goes to Vishnu and asks, please tell me what is Maya. And Vishnu tells him, I'll explain to you Maya. I'll explain what is Maya to you, but please give me a glass of water. Have I told the story before?
I've heard it somewhere else.
You've heard the story, okay. Does everybody know the story?
No.
Okay, for the people who don't know, I'll quickly go over it. And Vishnu says, get me a glass of water. And he cannot find water anywhere, so he goes to a nearby village. He knocks at a door for some water. When he opens the door, when the door opens, there's a beautiful girl standing. And Naradji completely forgets about Vishnu and water and everything. He's mesmerized by her, and he goes on one knee and he says, will you marry me? Okay. And they get married, they have children, And Narad Maharshi, who was a sannyasi, now has to work because he has children and he has to feed them. He starts working in the field. And one day there is a flood in the field. There's a flood in the village, and he's working in the field, and his house is washed away. All the villagers are killed. His family dies, children die, everything is washed away. He's left alone, and he starts crying, and he starts cursing God. Why did you do this to me? At that moment, Vishnu taps from behind, and he tells him, where is my glass of water? You've been out for 30 minutes. And where's my glass of water? This is Maya. In 30 minutes, he has experienced 20 years or 20, 30 years. Okay? And nothing that he experienced, which he thought was real, was real. And Vishnu explained to him, this is what is called Maya. Maya is, you are experiencing something, believing it to be real, but it is not real. This is like in your case of a dream. Do you know how long you dream for when you sleep? Hardly 20 to 30 seconds. 30 seconds, not even minutes. Your deep sleep is for around 30 minutes. But your sleep dreaming time is for 20 to 30 seconds. And in that 20 to 30 seconds, you dream a much expanded sense of time. Have you experienced that? Your time seems longer. But actual chronological time is only 20 to 30 seconds. This is Maya. So Maya in Vedanta is explained as two. Avarna and Vikshepa. Okay, what is it? Avarna and Vikshepa. Avarna means there's a covering. Okay, what is covered? The reality is covered. So there is some reality which is called as God, Brahman, then consciousness. Then there is a covering, it is covered. And that covering is called Vikshepa. You cannot see, like how the sun gets covered by the clouds. There is something that covers the reality, that is called Avarna. Okay, what is that? I'll go deeper, don't worry about the words. Just understand the principles. Avarna. Then because of this Avarna, there is a projection. There is a superimposition. So the example given is you're in darkness. You're going in the field in the darkness. You see a rope. Okay, the darkness is covering the reality of the rope. So what does the rope appear to you as? You think it's a snake. That snake is a superimposition on the rope. And the superimposition is not real. It's only mental. Is everybody getting? I can't hear you. You can unmute and let me know. Is it clear?
Yeah.
So the rope is like Brahman, consciousness, pure consciousness, that is you. Then there is a darkness. Because of the darkness, the reality of the rope gets covered. That's called Avarna. That's the covering. And you cannot see the reality. You cannot see consciousness. And because the reality is covered, there is a Vikshepa, there is a projection. And that projection is called Maya. Now, it is fine if there was only a projection. And the projection in Sanatana Dharma is called as Prakriti, nature. So have you seen the image of Narayana sleeping? There's the image of Narayana sleeping. Narayana is sleeping. He's in Yoga Nidra. And from his navel, Brahmaji is coming out. Okay, so this is the representation of what I just said. The conscious
Stuck.
You're on mute.
Sorry, is everybody able to hear me now?
Yeah, I can
Yes,
hear you.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
we can
yes.
hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah, now, yeah.
Yes. Sorry, I got
Now it is.
disconnected. One second. I'll just connect back to my Wi-Fi. The power just came back. Just a moment. So Maya is determined that we should not understand Maya. It doesn't want you to become free.
Does that mean that we have so much more time with Maya?
No, it's all Maya. We'll remove that. Maya will persist. But Guru also will persist.
Guru will prevail.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes. we
Okay,
can.
just give me a moment. 1 minute. Okay. Shall we continue?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes, yeah.
let's continue our contemplation on Maya, which is Maya means Avarna and Vikshepa. Is this much clear? Avarna is the rope. There is a rope, and I cannot see the rope because the darkness is covering the rope. But I see there is something, and because I am not able to know the reality, I start superimposing something else on it. And the superimposition is called Vikshepa. The non-seeing of the reality or inability to see the reality is called Avarna. So according to Vedanta, you right now have Avarna and Vikshepa. All you need to do is, so how does somebody come out of the fear in this situation of snake and the rope? The simplest way for that person to realize the truth is to put some light on the rope. Okay, put a torch light or some mobile light. Then they'll see that, okay, it's a rope, it's not a snake. Then they'll turn off the light. Now again the rope appears to be like a snake, but this time they know. What do they know? That it's just a rope, it's not a snake. So this is the process of enlightenment. You see something, you think it is something else, then with the light of wisdom you see it for what it is. Then again you interact with the world, but this time you know that the world is not real. You know that Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. Right now Jagat is Satya, Brahman is Mithya. God is unreal. World is real. Unless God comes in a physical form from the heaven with 4 hands and one kiritam and tells child, what do you want? He's unreal. Okay? Until that happens, God is unreal. World is very real because world keeps haunting me every day. It doesn't leave me even in my dreams. It keeps coming back. God, I don't even find. Okay, so that will shift to God alone is real and world becomes unreal. So this is the journey from Asat to Sat. What is Asat? Asat is world is real, consciousness is unreal. Sat is consciousness is real, world is unreal. Okay. And world is real because of Avarna and Vikshepa. Clear? This much is clear? And we'll go into Avarna and Vikshepa. And slowly, this is like the peeling of onion. Okay, you take out layer by layer. And in the process, you keep crying. Okay, shall we continue? Everybody on board? Mohan, clear so far? Jyoti ji?
Yes.
Okay. So, what does Avarna do? Avarna means it covers the reality. Now, what matters in Avarna is this covering of reality has an implication in your mind. Okay, everything is mental. Both Avarna and Vikshepa are only mental. In reality, in real, nothing has happened because nothing is there. So mentally, you get a thought, I am something. I am the body, I am Pradeep, I am Pratik, I am Shanti Bhushan, I am Biplav, I am Tanvi, I am Meenakshi, I am Pallavi, I am Prasad, I am Savita, I am Mohan, I am Jyoti, I am Beena. So you get, I am thought, I am something. That is Avarna. Okay, what is Avarna in you? That real I gets covered. Your real of I, nature of I am consciousness goes and it becomes something else. I am, it becomes body. That is Avarna. And because you take some Avarna, I am body, I am this, you experience Vikshepa. The thoughts about you is Avarna, thought about the world is Vikshepa. You understand? All the thoughts that you get about the objects is Vikshepa. And thought about you is Avarna. And the real fun and the problem is, see, there is some word which is called as created by, what you say, created by God. The Shrishti, Ishvara Shrishti. Now, you do not interact with the Ishvara Shrishti. As a child, you were interacting with the Ishvara Shrishti. That's why you were joyful and peaceful. But as you grow up, you start interacting with your own Shrishti. So it's like this. Do you all know the superhero Iron Man?
Yes.
Everybody knows? Pallaviji is sleeping.
Everybody who has a kid will surely know.
You know, right? So Iron Man, inside the Iron Man suit, he has a lot of these interface. He has a screen, like an interface, where he sees so many data points. Like if he's looking at some missile coming, that interface will tell him which missile it is, how far it is, and all that. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
So this is Vikshepa. You're looking at the world through an interface which you have created. And that interface is the real trouble, not the world. The Ishvara Shrishti is actually beautiful. What you see through your interface is the problem, is giving you the problem. So all you need to do is remove that in-between layer. Is everybody getting it?
Yeah.
To give you an example, you open the door, somebody opens the door in the morning, they see a cow. And if it's somebody from a particular background, they'll say, oh my God, all the deities have come, they'll bow down. In front of somebody else's house, when they open the door and they see the cow, they say, oh my God, biryani has come. In front of somebody else's house, milk, wow, I can see milk. In front of a business person's house, they look at the cow and they see money. How many cows are there? One cow is perceived in multiple ways because of the interfering layer. Okay, that interfering layer is called Vikshepa. The world is actually a creation of Bhagavan. It is another form of Bhagavan. It is Shakti. And Shiva is Shakti. Shakti is Shiva. They're not different. The world is the physical form of Bhagavan. It's the body of Bhagavan. And it is beautiful. But you see, a world is all suffering and misery, everybody dying. What is all this nonsense? Why did God create such a miserable world? That is your interpretation, interface. All you need to do is become free from that middle layer, the Vikshepa. So how does it boil down in you? It boils down as thoughts. A lot of unwanted thoughts you get about the world. Do you get unwanted thoughts about situations and life and world? All those unwanted thoughts are Vikshepa, about the world. About you, you cannot have unwanted thoughts. About you, you can have wrong thought. And that wrong thought about you is called Avarna. So Vikshepa is reduced by various meditative, just simple practice. To give a simple solution, just by observing the breath, all the Vikshepa comes down. All the thoughts about the world, unwanted thoughts, they reduce. Okay, or any practice that you do. The Vikshepa is very easy to remove because it's just unwanted thoughts. So you just put the mind to some other thought, focus on some other thought, maybe karma yoga, you're doing some work. Put all your attention in the work that you're doing. Then the Vikshepa stops. Okay? But the Avarna can only go by Atma Gnana. The wrong understanding about your own self, that you think, I am this person, I am woman, I am man, I am father, I am son, I am all this, I am this body, that can only go by Atma Gnana. And that going is called Mukti. Mukti means freedom from the wrong notion of yourself. So what happens after Mukti? The Avarna will still be there. You will still see the world. But you will see the world in its pure form, not with any interference. And you will see the world as yourself, consciousness. This is the journey of spirituality. Clear? Avarna and Vikshepa. Once this much is clear, I'll go ahead into removing them. At this point, is it clear? I'm stopping at this point. Any questions? So what is Avarna? Test time. Pratik, what is Avarna?
Avarna is about like what I thought. Like I am Pratik. I am a father. I am a son. Like that. Means who I think I am, but actually it is not.
Okay. No, in your case, now that you've understood Avarna, in your case, what do you think you are?
Like I have a body. I'm a father. I'm a son, and like that.
You have a child?
Yes, recently. She's just 2 months old.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think you are the roles that you're playing, basically. And you think you are the body.
Yes.
That's called Avarna.
Yeah.
Okay. And please understand, removing of Avarna does not mean removing of roles.
Yes.
Removing of Avarna means Bhagavan will start playing that roles. The true self will start playing that role. Now some disturbed self is playing the role. The disturbed self is called Jiva. Is there a difference between you raising your child and Bhagavan raising your child? So when Avarna goes, Bhagavan will raise a child. Okay? It doesn't mean your roles, you'll run away from your roles or your roles become irrelevant. No. Avarna simply means all the clutter will go and the universe will start operating through the body mind. That is enlightenment. Everybody clear about Avarna? Avarna is, and Avarna creates the covering of my true nature, creates a lot of wrong notion about myself. The most the worst notion about myself that is created is I am the body. Okay, and because I am the body, I experience birth and death, disease and pain, suffering, insecurities. Because something can happen, right? Something can happen to the body. If you think you're the body, then you become, your infinite potential, which is truly infinite, becomes very limited. I can only do this much. That is Avarna. And Vikshepa is whatever I see, because I don't know its reality, I start experiencing life in a certain way. I start trying to possess life, possess objects. The mind starts getting a lot of unwanted thoughts about situations in your life, about what you see, what you experience. All that is Vikshepa. Thought about the world, thought about you. Both, and thought about the filtering layer or the wrong, the interface goes, and the clarity of who you are emerges. That is called Mukti and freedom from Maya. Freedom from Maya means freedom from unwanted thought patterns. Is it clear so far? Avarna and Vikshepa. This is Maya. There is not, Maya is nothing else apart from this. And Maya is only, and where is all of this? Where is both Avarna and Vikshepa?
In the mind.
In our mind.
When you say in your mind, how does it operate in the mind?
Thoughts.
So Sri Krishna Bhagavan tells in the Bhagavad Gita, thoughts, right? Sri Krishna Bhagavan tells, Mana eva karanam manukshana bandha mokshayo. Mana eva karanam. He said, mind is the cause for your bondage and for your liberation. Mind itself will bind you, mind itself is liberate you. How it will bind you? Because of Avarna and Vikshepa. How it will liberate you is what we'll have to look at. Now the mind, Avarna and Vikshepa happens in your mind as thoughts. Does it happen as thoughts or thought?
Thoughts.
Thoughts.
Thought. There are no thoughts. There are thoughts also is one thought. The mind can only hold one thought at a time. So you have a sense, I have thousands of thoughts. Also comes as one thought that you see. So there is a self, Shiva, consciousness, and in the self, there is some movement, and the movement is thought. And there are not multiple movements. The self is not seeing so many thoughts. It's always seeing only one thought. You understand? That one thought at this moment tells you had thousands of thoughts. Do you understand the Maya? That is a Maya. That one thought gives you an illusion that you had thousands of thoughts. That is Maya. And the one thought, and the thought is that one thought can be broken into two. In that one thought, two are packaged. This is a package. One part of the package is a thought about me. Another part of the package is thought about other. The thought about me is Vikshepa. Thought about the other is Avarna. So if you're able to see, experience an object without I thought and without the other thought, that is pure experience. Then you will experience Brahman. That is how the child experiences life. That is how you experience as a child. You were not, whatever you're seeing, you were not labeling. Neither were you referring to some past experience. Like the child goes and touches the fire first time. It has no labeling mechanism. It has no, it sees a form, but it doesn't label the form. Neither does it bring any memory of the form. For it, it's just exploring. It doesn't know it's going to get burnt. It doesn't know anything. It is just pure experience. That is called, and that is, it happens unconsciously in a child. In the enlightened being, it's a conscious experience. The only difference is an enlightened being experiences life very similar to that, without any labeling and moment to moment. No past, no future. So the enlightened being sees a criminal, he'll deal with him as if it's the first, he's dealing with the divine, but he has no superimposition of any sort. Is it clear? Avarna and Vikshepa. Avarna is thought about myself, Vikshepa is thought about the other. And in the mind means only one thought. Please don't think I have multiple thoughts. The multiple thought is also only one thought. It's just one wave rises, one wave it falls back. And the next time it rises, is it the same wave that rose earlier? So you got a feeling of me, I am. And after some time you have a feeling I am. The two feelings, are they the same? Same I am? It's a different thought. It's a different wave altogether. But it gives you the illusion it's the same. And that gives you the illusion I am continuing. You are not continuing. You are projected and withdrawn in consciousness moment to moment. And that is what is called as a wave. You are not a particle. You are projected in consciousness, withdrawn in consciousness. Again projected, and the second projection is not the same projection as the first time. It's a new projection. But you feel, I am the same. That I am the same is consciousness, not you. Is it going over the head? Is Maya clear or not? Or Maya is very complex? Maya is
clear.
If it is projected every moment and it goes back again, and if it comes back again like a projection, it stays in the memory, right?
It stays in the memory is also a thought. Memory is also a thought that you're seeing now. And it's giving you an illusion there is something as memory. Do you understand? Okay, to explain this better.
Where is the memory? Where is the memory?
I'll tell you that. So there was a person called Lao Tzu. Have you heard of Lao Tzu? The person who said, you must have heard this saying, the journey of 1,000 miles is done by one step. Something on those lines, right? You take one step, and you complete a journey of 1,000 miles. The story behind the saying is, there was a person called Lao Tzu, and he wanted to travel. And in those days, there was no light. If the sun sets, there's absolute darkness. You can only use your lantern. Now, he was afraid to make the journey because he didn't know that his lantern, he knew that my lantern can only show me 10 feet. Beyond that, I cannot see. So how can I make the journey? Because I cannot see, I need a light that will show me everything. Until I find a light like that, I will not travel in the dark. But one day he finally decides and he starts to travel in the night. And he decides to come back because his light is only showing him 10 feet. Then another man passes by him who has a smaller lantern. His light only shows him 4 feet or 5 feet. Then he asks the man, how can you travel? Your light is only showing you this much. The man says, are you a fool? This much is all that you need to navigate, to complete your journey. Because at any point in time, you'll only need to see this much. You'll not need to see more than this. At any point in time, you only need to see this much. If I can see this much, I can go this much. Then from that point, I need to see a little more. So like this, I can go ahead. This is our life. Your only consciousness is only showing you today, now, this moment. This moment is that 10 feet radius of light that you have. Anything apart from this moment is your imagination. It's not real. And it's coming from memory. Where is this memory? Who was Palaviji asked the question, no? Where is this memory? Palaviji?
It's in mind.
So I told you mind is one thought. Correct? Is that part clear? Mind is one thought.
Yeah.
And that one thought rises and falls. Then there's a thought about memory. There is a thought about memory. Is there really memory?
Because I remember many instances that now, since the time you started the class, it cut down, you came back. I remember every projection. I remember every projection. So
you remember it. Your remembrance is real.
Sorry?
See, you said, okay, I remember like the last class. It is a memory. And memory is, it is some data that is stored somewhere and I'm pulling it out. Okay, so for practical purpose, it is said that, okay, memory is in the mind. And the mind, from the mind, you think about it. But when you think about it, it comes as one thought. Okay, but the mind itself is a thought, is one thought.
I understood that part.
So, and memory is one function of the mind. If the mind itself is unreal and if it's one thought, what about memory? Which part of memory is real in this moment? The word memory itself means something unreal. I am making some partial reference. You can never have an actual memory, meaning there's no way you can recollect the reality of what it was. You pick up only bits and pieces. Let's say you saw something like your relative last week. Your sense perception would have captured some bits and pieces of information and stored that. How much of that storage can you compare to the actual? How much percentage is real?
Very less.
Very, very less. Very insignificantly less. Okay. That is the unreality you're living with. So memory is unreality. Mind is unreality. Thought is unreality. Reality is beyond thought. When there is no thought, what remains is reality. Whatever is in the purview of thought, which is one thought, is unreal. Reality is beyond thought, and it is in your own experience. In your deep sleep, you experience reality. There is no thought. There is no Avarna, no Vikshepa. In your deep sleep, do you have Avarna? You have no Avarna. You have no Vikshepa. There's no projection also. But there is no Gnana. That's why you wake up into ignorance again. Mukti is very similar to deep sleep. But in Mukti, like in deep sleep, there is no Avarna. But Vikshepa is irrelevant because you have Gnana. There is a difference. Mukti is deep sleep in the waking state, meaning there is Vikshepa, but there is no Avarna, and there is Gnana of who I am, and I am consciousness. Is it making sense, Tanvi? I see question mark on everybody's face. Maya is difficult. So Maya means just that one thought that you get is giving you all this experience. Okay? And thought itself is unreal. It appears and disappears. And the reality is, and reality you cannot think about. I cannot think about the truth. When I become thoughtless, what remains is truth. Clear? When I become peaceful, when there is no thought, when there is no thought about the world, by observing the breath or some practice, and inquiring about who am I through Atma Gnana, will destroy the Avarna. So then there is no more Maya. Any questions?
We have been listening to you for so long. For so many weeks now, so many months, I think. So you have been telling this again and again. Okay, we understand. Sometimes even if we don't, you try to put it in other words. Okay, considering that we understand I understand to a larger extent. Still, that Avarna is there and Vikshepa is there. It is not going off. How to get rid of the Avarna and Vikshepa sooner?
How to get rid of the Avarna and Vikshepa. So Vikshepa, I told you. Getting rid of Vikshepa is very, very easy. Because Vikshepa is thought about the world. Holding the mind onto one, focusing the mind on something will remove the Vikshepa. You can focus on the breath, or you focus on the work that you're doing. Focusing on the present moment will remove Vikshepa. Vikshepa is past and future. Vikshepa is never about the present. You cannot have Vikshepa about the present. Okay, you can only be in the present. So bringing the mind to the present moment is removing of Vikshepa. Okay, that is what sadhana is for. Sadhana is for removing of Vikshepa. The simplest sadhana I gave you, observing of the breath. Observe the breath, hold the mind on the breath, and the mind becomes silent. Okay, that's called manolaya, the suppression of the mind. How do I remove? How do I remove Avarna, the covering that I am not. I am this body, and I think I'm something else. So, do you want to remove it, Pallaviji?
Yes.
Can't hear you. So you have to stay on unmute for this. Don't go on mute, otherwise you will not get it. Shall we start?
Okay.
Okay. Can you ask the question again?
Okay. How to get rid of Avarna and Vikshepa?
Vikshepa, I told you.
Oh yeah. Okay. How to get rid of Avarna, which is okay. I have really kind of understood much deeper than as I used to think before, that I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm pure consciousness. Okay, I've understood a relatively larger extent than I used to think what I was before. Even then, the Avarna is still there, right? Even then, things are happening like this.
Who has understood?
Sorry?
Who understood? You said I understood. Who understood?
Okay.
Who understood? Does the self understand? Brahman understand? Does Brahman need to understand anything?
Okay, it's just realization, is it?
Brahman needs realization? Huh? Who understood?
My mind.
Mind understands? My mind. Your mind. You have a special mind. Your mind understood?
The projection of my mind is understood.
The projection of the mind as a mind is an instrument. See, like computer, no? Computers, you're using a computer. Are you using a computer or phone?
iPad.
So does the iPad understand anything? It is very intelligent. Okay, it does functions, and it shows the picture. We can communicate with other systems. It has applications. Does it understand anything?
No.
It's a very good, very intelligent instrument. But does it understand anything?
No.
If you show the flower to the iPad will match some data point and tell, okay, this is a flower. It will give the right answer that it is a flower. But does it understand that it is a flower?
No.
Your mind is like that. It's a supercomputer. Okay? But it doesn't understand anything. Who understands? When you say I understood, who understood?
My consciousness.
My consciousness understood? What is this my consciousness?
Okay, the general consciousness understood.
You're changing answers just as I'm asking more questions. So you don't have to give answer based on what I have told. Go give by your own life experience, your reality. Who understood? See, body didn't understand. That is very clear. The body of Pallavi understood.
The experience, because of this experience, I understood.
Not only who understood, I understood means who understood. Who is that I?
My soul understood.
Okay, what is this my soul? You have a body, no? You can very confidently say my body because I can show my body. What is this my soul?
No, I have stopped telling that. I have really, honestly speaking, I have kind of sincerely have stopped kind of telling that kind of thing completely. That my body and such things.
Okay, but now you're telling my soul. You've only changed the game. Same game you're playing with a different name.
Okay.
You have a special soul. My soul. What is this my soul?
Okay, who understood then?
you should tell. You only told I understood everything that you're telling Krishnaji. Then you tell me, who understood? Did I didn't say I understood. You said I understood. Tell me who understood.
You are not accepting any of the answers.
No, I am not accepting because none of them are logical. The moment you give me a logical answer, and it's not me, you're also not, because of my cross questioning, are you only accepting your answer?
No.
Is the answer acceptable to you?
So
are you
who
okay to
understood
be the body?
finally? If it is not body, not mind, not soul, no conscious, who understood finally?
So, see, somebody understood. You said I understood, right?
Okay,
correct?
By mistake I told I understood. Understood.
See, this is called Avarna. Avarna simply means you're superimposing body, mind, and so many things as you. Moment to moment, you're changing. Sometimes I becomes body. You say, oh, I'm so tired. Okay. Are you tired? Is Brahman ever tired? You're superimposing body on Brahman and telling I am tired. People say I am depressed. Can Brahman ever be depressed? You are never depressed. Okay, if you are depressed, if you are tired, or if you understood, that should remain all the time. Even in your deep sleep, it should remain. Does it remain? Does your understanding remain in your deep sleep?
I tried, but what happens? By the time I sleep, I will be okay. A couple of days I tried. Okay, now I will consciously go to sleep so that even in dream I will realize that it is dream, and I try to sleep like that and all. But sometimes I come from office and I'll be tired and I sleep off. I'll be really tired and I'll sleep. So that thing will go off.
I really appreciate your sadhana, but you only need to understand that what is unreal, you cannot carry it for long. Okay, so when you say I understood, I am tired, I am depressed, I am this, I am that. You are superimposing something on the reality, which is unreal. It is unreal because it doesn't last. It is anitya. When you say I am tired, you are not tired. Body is tired. And you're telling I am tired. You're also tired in the deep sleep. So for example, let's say you have disease, you have some fever. Okay, God forbid, but let's say you have fever.
No,
and you go into deep sleep. In the deep sleep also, the body has fever, but there is no experience of the body itself. You understand? So it is not you. There is a time where you know yourself without the body and the mind. With reference to that, tell me who understood. And there's no soul also. In a deep sleep, is there soul? Is there God? What is there in deep sleep, Pallavi? When you have deep sleep, what is there in your deep sleep?
I see deep sleep or dream.
Deep sleep. So there is waking, dreaming, deep sleep.
Oh, deep sleep. Yeah, I'll be sleeping. I don't know.
Nothing. You don't know. There is nothing there.
Yeah, nothing.
Okay, but you know that there is no. But you know that there is nothing.
I know that there is nothing. Yes, yes.
So there is somebody who knows.
Yes.
Right. And that somebody has a body.
No.
That somebody has a mind. That somebody has a computer who will make notes. Nothing is there now.
No.
Nothing is there.
No.
That somebody is the real you. And that somebody is not the soul. There is no such thing as soul also. The soul is a very, very misunderstood and misdirecting concept. It is not real. There is no such thing as soul. But soul is also a thought in your mind. Let's say there is no thought. Where is the soul? Brahman is not soul. Brahman is Sat Chit Ananda. Okay? And that is there right now. And that is there in deep sleep. When everything disappears, what remains is Sat Chit Ananda. Sat is I exist. Is there I exist in deep sleep? Do you exist in deep sleep?
No.
If you don't exist, who is having deep sleep? There's somebody that exists, is having deep sleep, is seeing that there is nothing now. That pure existence is called Sat. That is a pure existence. Then there is Chit is I know. Sat is I exist. Chit is I know. In deep sleep, you know that there is nothing to know. In waking, you know the waking. In dreaming, you know the dreaming. In deep sleep, you know there is nothing to know. But you still know, that knowing principle. There is no knower. There is a knowing principle. That is called Chit. That is called Prajna. Prajnanam Brahma. Chit. I know. I exist. And Ananda. There is Ananda in deep sleep. Because there is no object. There is infinity. Okay? There is no limitation. In deep sleep, do you have a limitation? Because you don't have a limitation, you're in Ananda. So you are Sat, Chit, Ananda in deep sleep. Is there any argument to this? Pallaviji and anybody else? You are Sat, Chit, Ananda, right? In deep sleep. You are Sat, you exist. You are Chit, knowing principle. You are in Ananda because there is no object, no world, no constraint, no restrictions on you, no other, just infinity, infinite bliss, Ananda. Okay? That is your reality, Sat, Chit, Ananda. Now what happens in the waking is, Sat becomes, I am becomes, I am Pallavi. First thing you associate with, body, identity, name. I am becomes, I am Pallavi. Sat is corrupted. I know becomes, I am the knower. Chit becomes Chitta. Have you heard of this word called Chitta? There is Chit, which is Bhagavan. Chitta means memory, mind. You become a knower. From I know, knowing principle, you become a knower. That is Chitta. From Chit, you become Chitta. From Ananda, you become, I am Ananda, you become, I am miserable. I am suffering. And none of this is only a imagination. Satchitananda has not gone at all. It's always there. Your true nature is always there in the background, but it gets covered because of your thought. Okay. Now, when you said, I listened to all that you said, I understood. Who understood? I've given you all the explanation. Who understood?
The Brahman in the deep sleep understood.
Brahman is happily sleeping. He doesn't need to understand anything. Do you think Brahman cares about you? Simple, Pallaviji. When you're awake right now, let's call you waking Pallaviji. And you go sleep. In the sleep, you dream. There's a dreaming Pallaviji. There's a dream body and dreaming Pallaviji. Does the waking Pallaviji care about the dreaming Pallaviji? Or does the dreaming Pallaviji know about the waking Pallaviji? Is it even possible? See, now you can know. Now you can tell the dream character Pallaviji was there. But when you were dreaming, the other way around, is it possible? Can the dream character know the sleeping character?
No.
Same way, Brahman doesn't know about you. But you are Brahman when you become thoughtless. So who knows? Coming back to the question.
I've told all the answers. I've told all the, you didn't accept.
You have not told the right answer.
I told all.
You told all wrong answer. What can I do? You tell me the right answer, I'll stop. Who understood?
Nobody.
Nobody understood.
Yeah, Prasad is helping. Husband is helping. Are you going to believe the answer of the husband? Husbands are always known to give misleading answers. Please never believe answers of husbands, okay? Who understood, Pallaviji? This is the removal of Avarna. Avarna is removed. There is no answer. The mind doesn't move. Mind is like a thief. The ego is like a thief. In the questioning, in the inquiry, the thief becomes silent. The moment of that thief becomes silent because of the questioning is mukti. That is why it's called moksha moolam guru kripa. When you inquire into the self, inquire into the falseness of the thoughts that you have, the mind becomes silent. There is no answer. Because there cannot be an answer. The real answer is the Vikshepa goes. And when the Vikshepa goes, what remains is you realize that I am what remains. You do not become what remains. Your mind doesn't become peaceful. The mind dies, meaning the mind becomes thoughtless. What remains is peace. You do not become blissful. You don't become ananda. When the thoughts go, what remains is ananda. Because if you become something, if you become peaceful, you can become disturbed also. If you become happy, you can become unhappy also. When you go, what remains is Brahman. And how will you go? And when I say you, I'm referring to Avarna. The you will go because of self-inquiry. Inquiring to who am I? So this method of removing the Avarna is called direct path. Okay, direct inquiry into who am I? When you ask who am I, the mind will give answers. I am Pallaviji, I am body. Then you inquire, how can I be the body? Because my body doesn't remain all the time. In the dream, I take a different body. So I am not the body. Then the mind will say, no, I am the mind. How can you with the mind? There is a mind becomes silent, mind becomes thoughtless. But I am still there when the mind is not there. Okay? Then you'll go on questioning, not until you find an answer, until all the question stops. Like now, you reach a point where there's no answer. So, how do you remove Avarna, Pallaviji?
Yeah, I keep asking like this. I dig out more to find out deeper how it could be removed.
No. Who am I? That's all. Who? So you when you're interacting with the world, you get lost in the thought, oh, I am doing so much work, nobody's recognizing. Then I'm just asked, who is doing the work? Mind will become silent. Then you're interacting, you're having some interaction, some experience. Suddenly you feel a surge of emotions and anger, and you feel anger. You say, who's having the anger?
Hello.
Am I connected again? Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, it's okay now. Yeah.
I'm sorry, lost power again. So did you catch the last part about emotion? So when you're having, when you
Again, Is session getting continued, or am I the only person who is not listening?
Hey, Pradeep, I
Possibly you
don't
lost
see.
him.
Yeah, and I think we
He's
lost the videos as well, right?
Yes, I think we even cannot see anything here.
Yeah, now
Yeah,
it's back.
yeah, it's back now. Yeah. It's gone.
I think Krishna ji became Maya.
It's recording. You need to answer later.
Yes, you able to hear me? I'll just put a message that we're back on the group. Yeah, so somebody already. Is everybody here? So everybody can. Where is Pallaviji? So everybody doesn't need to be happy. It's only we are only beginning with Pallaviji. We'll be taking everybody's case as well. So be prepared. You can be next. We'll come back to Pallaviji. Where's Pallaviji? Prasadji, Pallaviji. Can't see you. Okay, Pallaviji and Prasadji are in space already. Which loka is this? You're in
You
some
gave us
loka.
more time. You gave us more time. We flew away.
Maya loka, different loka. Okay, so where were we? So you were telling you can see me? First you say you don't understand what I say. Then you say okay, you can see me. You seem to
I
be a very
realized you are here.
you seem to be a very powerful person, Pallaviji. You can see me?
I superimposed, imagining that you are giving Jnana, Atma Jnana here in spite of you weren't here.
See, Maya means words. Words are Maya. With our words, we keep ourselves bound. You speak so many things that actually have no reference, no relevance in reality, to reality. Okay, dream words, dream world. And all the time you speak about speak from a layered and biased mind without understanding about yourself. So how much of what you say is real? Right now, this moment, whatever question I ask, whatever question it may be, can you ever tell the something close to reality? Do you see me? Can you see me? When you say we see, I is one level of Maya. We is the next level of Maya. The dream within a dream. See, I is one dream. You understood about the I. Vikshepa is I. We is you're superimposing on people that you don't know even exist and saying they also perceive the same reality. In your own house, you can have 5 people living. Everybody are living in their own reality. There are 5 realities. The child though is in a complete reality. The teenager is in their own reality. Do you have any teenagers? Teenager is in their own reality. When your son becomes a teenager, it is a different reality. That what he was a couple of years ago. Adult is in another reality. And the elderly person is in a complete different reality. None of them are on ground. Spirituality is about to be grounded. And Arjuna is in a complete messed up reality. Krishna is established in absolute reality.
So in all these realities, what happened to the, okay, now there is no body.
Sorry, the word is not reality. The word is dream, illusion. Everybody's in their own illusion. Sorry, I use the word reality. Everybody's in their own illusion. Reality is only one. Yes, ask the question now.
Okay, so in this illusions, now what happened to the feelings? We feel it, right?
We feel. Who all feels? You're including me also?
I feel it, right? I feel things, right? How can I make my mind agree to the fact that the feelings are unreal? Okay, the touch, the things that I see, you gave at least some scientific or logical explanation, which I can try and understand maybe. But the feelings, how can I make it unreal? How can I make my mind accept that it is unreal?
Very right question. So the feelings are the most strongest Maya. Okay, our life is mostly our feelings. When I say feelings, we are referring to kama, krodha, moha, mada, matsarya, lobha, and moha. So these the anger, fear, jealousy, pride, or emotions basically. Right? This is what you mean by feeling.
Yes.
So these feelings are all actually arising because of unreality. First thing, karma is I want something. Okay, let's inquire into feeling, because the feelings are strong. If you are able to transcend these emotions, then life. These are the uncontrolled, unnecessary thoughts that I'm talking about. So I said, enlightened mukti means freedom from unnecessary thoughts, and these feelings are unnecessary thoughts. Okay, so you need to become free from this. You don't need to become free from love and peace. What you need to become free from are these disturbances. If you're free from these disturbances, you are enlightened. Okay, so the freedom from kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. This is called 6 emotional disturbances. Okay, if you are free from these 6 emotional disturbances, then you are established. You're either free from this or you're able to witness this. Okay, you're either you're free from this, meaning they don't arise at all, or they arise and you're a sakshi, you're a witness. Both are good conditions. Okay. Now let's talk about these 6. How do they arise? Kama is desire for anything. No, it doesn't only mean sex. Kama means desire in general, desire for money, desire for so many desires that we have. Why does desire arise? Do you get desires? Pratik?
Yes.
Everybody gets desires. If you didn't have desire, you would not be where you are now. Correct? Because you had a desire to grow and prosper. You are at the stage that you are. And tomorrow you'll progress more because of the desires that you have today. So desire is like a seed. So desire is like a direction of life. But the desire is, how much of desire is realistic and how much of it is unrealistic? Do you have realistic desires predominantly or unrealistic desires predominantly? So to give you an example, this person should not behave like this. This person should behave like this. It's a desire. Is it a realistic desire?
No, unrealistic.
So the desire, first of all, desire arises because I have a feeling of shortcoming. I am incomplete. I need something to become complete. Desires arises because of ajnana. You do not know yourself as Brahman. You think you are the body mind and you think you are the jiva, and that's why you have a desire. When I get this, I'll be more. Ultimately, desire is a means to an end, and the end is, what is the end of desire?
No
Never
end.
ending.
No, the end goal of desire is happiness. So you want something, you have a phone. I'm not happy with the phone. I need the next new model.
Yeah.
I want it because I think by getting it, I'll become more happy. If I don't have it, I'm unhappy. So desire, the end goal of all desires is happiness. So desire is a means to the end goal, but you confuse the means only to be the end. That's why you start hankering for objects. You understand? But you don't need to. You can directly go to the end, which is your true nature, Ananda. So desire arises because you do not know your true self. And you do not know the underlying river of Ananda within you, or the infinite bliss within you. So there is a seeking, there is a desire. Is it clear, Pallaviji? The more you know yourself, the more you know I am Brahman, I am consciousness, all the unrealistic, unnecessary desires will drop from your life. There will be only one desire left. What is that one desire? Only the desire of spreading what you are, spreading the joy and peace. That is what an enlightened life is. Just because you already have reached, now you want to give. Okay? And in the true sense, it's not a desire, it's just a way of life. But all desires will drop. This is what the scriptures say. When you drop all desires, you reach God. Meaning, when you understand that Brahman is complete, Purna. Okay, repeat after me. Purnamadam.
Purnamadam.
Purnamidam.
Purnamiram.
Purnat.
Purnart.
Purnamuduchyate.
Purnamuduchyate.
Purnasya.
Purnasya.
Purnamadaya.
Purnamadaya.
Purnamevavashishyate.
Purnamevavashishyate.
So the shloka means Purnamadam, meaning Brahman is complete. Brahman is Purna. There's no incompleteness in Brahman. Purnamidam. The creation is complete. Adam is Brahman. Idam is creation. That is complete. This is complete. From where did this incomplete you come? From the Purna, Purnat Purnamuduchyate. From the Purna came Purna. The child of the Purna is another Purna. There is nothing incomplete or there is nothing limited in the universe. There's nothing apart from consciousness. So your sense of I am, there is something lacking in me is not real, is Maya. Okay? And that Maya, and why does Maya do that? Because if that is not there, if that is not put into you, you'll not move. You'll not do anything. The whole show will not go on. See, in a movie, in a play, somebody has to become Ravana, no? Somebody has to become a villain. Otherwise, there's no relevance for the hero character then. The play will not go on without, if everybody say, all the actors say, no, I don't want to play Ravana, I only want to play Rama. All the actors want to play Rama. Will the play happen? Will the drama happen? So Maya, the illusion is there in you, was there in you, so that consciousness could experience something. But in trying to experience something that is not there, the consciousness Shiva started believing that he's Jiva. Then another Shiva has to come and awaken that Jiva to be Shiva. So this is the Maya. Maya is, there is only Purna, Purnamadam, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamuduchyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya. Even if you take out the Purna from the Purna, what remains is Purna. That's what the shloka tells. Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnamevavashishyate. Even if you take out the Purnatva from the Purna, what remains is Purna. So Brahman can never be incomplete. But you have a sense of incompleteness because you think you are the body and mind. And that's why desires arise. So the moment you start saying, I want to get mukti, then you start inquiring your nature. Then all the unrealistic desires they disappear from your life. And even the desires that are required for your life will only arise at the point when they're required. They will not keep bombarding in your mind. So to tell it in a simple way, you become free from all desires. Desire will not arise in you because you are Purna. Desire will arise in you if you are Apurna. And Purna and Apurna is your choice. You can choose right now to be Purna or Apurna. It's your choice. Don't ever think I am a victim. I am a Jiva. No. You can, right now at this moment, you can choose with Gnana that I am Brahman and watch your thoughts. or you can dive into the thoughts. It's a choice that you have. The only question is, what are you exercising? Are you becoming a witness, or are you diving into the thoughts, or are you going back to or are you using the thoughts to point yourself back to what you are? And that is the requirement of the guru. Until you're able to do it yourself, the external guru comes and questions you. Understand? Until you're able to do it yourself. Clear about
question,
desire?
Krishnaji. You know, when we were talking about the Vikshepa and Avarna, you mentioned about Srishti is Shakti and is real. But we see that with a kind of a filter or facade.
Yeah.
So when you say Srishti is real, so what are we referring to as Srishti?
Okay, so there is, hold this question. Srishti is, there are two Srishtis. Ishvara Srishti and Jiva Srishti. Okay, I'll answer this question. I'll just finish the emotions. I'll come to this. Hold that 1 second. So desire is clear? Pallaviji?
Yes.
Desire arises because you think, because of Avarna, that I am, body and mind. The more and more you associate I am pure consciousness, the thought, the desire-induced thought will not arise. Only action-induced thought will arise. Whatever you need to do will arise. Okay? Then the desire, not getting the desire leads to anger. Because you desire something and most of the time you don't get what you desire, karma leads to krodha. If you don't get it, which is most of the time, anger. If you get it, mada, I got it. If you don't get it and your neighbor gets it, jealousy. I wanted it, I didn't get it, neighbor got it. I wanted big mansion, I didn't get, neighbor got. Jealousy. If I got the mansion, pride. I desired the mansion, why? Because I thought by getting the mansion, I'll be happy. If I don't get it, krodha. If I get it, mada. If I don't get it, somebody else get it, jealousy. What is that called? Matsarya.
Matsara.
If I get it, I am attached to it, moha. If it is taken away, if something happens, I get disturbed. There's a deep connection. My mind and that object is connected. Something happens to the object, something happens to my mind. Moha. If I get it, I want more. What is that? Mada, Matsarya?
Lobha.
Lobha. I want more. So these are the 6 emotions predominantly that creates disturbances in the mind. And all, when we say disturbances in 6 emotions, they always arise as one thought. Don't forget that. They only arise in one. Don't think there's so much and I have to fight against so much. Nothing. It's all illusion. It's only one thought. One thought of desire, one thought of anger. When I say thought, feeling also, it includes feeling. Feeling of pride, feeling of attachment, feeling of wanting more, greed. And all this you can live without, meaning a life without this. These are the interfering interfaces. If you remove this, what is life? Is a life like a child. And that life like a child is life of the enlightened one. Without these interferences. Does that answer the question, Pallaviji?
Yes, yeah.
What was
Thank
your question? What was your question?
I understood everything, so there's no question remaining.
Who understood? Again, I understood. Who understood? See, you asked a question, I answered the question. Now I am asking the question. You didn't answer my question. Who is seeing me and who understood?
The realization understood. The inner
I think we lost Krishnaji.
Yeah, again the video froze.
Yeah, I'm back now. Are you able to hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear.
Yes, Krishnaji.
Yeah, Maya is trying its best not to
Yeah,
allow us to contemplate on Maya.
true.
Okay, so can anybody see me? Raise your hand.
Yeah, we can see
You can
you.
see.
Yeah.
You can see me?
This body can see you.
So
The body's eyes can see you.
Yeah, it's actually creating
Mind
a
will interpret.
image in the back of the head here.
क्या बात कर रहे हो आप लोग? Do you see? You say I see. Who sees? Can the eyes see?
No.
Eyes are like glasses. I have my glasses. Do you ever wear this and say my glasses sees? Can the glass see? Eyes are like the glasses. They're an instrument that the mind uses. Okay. Do the eyes see?
No.
No,
Who sees then?
no one.
Somebody sees. No.
I don't know what somebody.
Eyes doesn't see.
Okay.
Does the mind see? Mind is also an instrument. The one who really sees is Shiva, consciousness. The one who sees, one who smells, one who eats, one who experiences, all Shiva. And you confuse that Shiva with something else. That is called Avarna. Okay? And you can never see another person. You only see a body. You see the body. But you never see me. Me cannot be seen. Understand? Neither can you see yourself because you are an illusion. You don't exist. What exists is what exists in the absence of you, and that is called Brahman. Have you heard of this Upanishad phrase, Aham Brahmasmi?
Yeah.
Yes.
Aham Brahmasmi means when Aham goes, what remains is Brahman. And this is exactly what happens in your deep sleep. In your deep sleep, Aham goes. Aham is Avarna. And Vikshepa also goes. Avarna and Vikshepa both go. What remains is Brahman. That Brahman you are. So from that, with the reference of that Brahman, what question do you have? Or what statement do you have? With the reference to that Brahman, what is Srishti? Prasadji, you asked about Srishti now. With the reference to Brahman, what is Srishti? The reference to Brahman, Srishti is dream, Maya. It's a dream. But in that dream, everything appears to be real. The word that we see is called Ishvara Srishti, meaning creation of God. Then there is a Jiva Srishti. I see the Ishvara Srishti, but I see a mental notion of that Ishvara Srishti. For example, if I look at the sky, there's an object, but I see a mental interpretation of that. If I see a flower, I say, wow, such a beautiful flower. or I say this flower was there, this person was wearing that, using that flower. So I only see a memory, some sort of an interpretation, a corrupted view. That is called Jiva Shrishti. Mukti is freedom from Jiva Shrishti and freedom from Ishvara Shrishti, in the sense Ishvara Shrishti is no longer seen as objective, it is seen as pure consciousness itself. For example, the stone is part of Ishvara Shrishti. In Mukti, in enlightenment, when the enlightened being looks at the stone, the form is seen without a naming process. Okay? And there is no distinction between in the process of seeing the stone, there is a seer, there is the seer body, seen, which is the object, and the process of seeing. There are three things: seer, see, process of seeing. In Mukti, there is only seeing. And there is no seeing, there is only knowing. Seeing is converted as knowing. So in Mukti, I see the book. When I say I see the book goes into my eyes, it becomes light, an image. I see the image. To see the image is to know the image. Okay? So what are you actually doing? You're only knowing it. To say I see is a wrong use of language. Do you understand that? To say I see something is a wrong use of language. You're actually knowing it. In Mukti, only knowing remains. The knower is removed. That is the Avarna. Avarna is gone. And Vikshepa also is not there, because everything that is seen is known as Brahman. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. Not only I am Brahman, everything is, when the I goes, Brahman alone remains. And this concept of I and everything also is still when the mind, in the domain of the mind. In enlightenment, in Mukti, no unwanted thought. Just moment to moment you live as Brahman. Any questions? So whoever is not on video, can you go on video? Let's see the question marks or clarity on the face. ज्योति जी, माया समझ में आ गया? माया क्या है? आप म्यूट पे हो. माया क्या है? No, still can't hear you. You're on mute. हाँ. क्या है माया? लोग बोलते हैं ना, सब मोह माया है. क्या है मोह माया? Apart from Brahman, which is Sat Chit Ananda, everything is Maya. That's why Bhagavan Osho said, everything apart from pure silence is your imagination. Okay? Is Maya clear? Is the way out of Maya clear? How do you go out of Maya? Anybody? Raise your hand if you know the answer. How do you go out of Maya? I won't cross question, I promise. Nobody?
Enquiry into it.
Enquiry. Enquiry into the self. Asking who am I? path, direct path. It's called the direct path. Who am I? This will remove the ignorance called avidya. Maya is because of avidya. And the children of avidya are Avarna and Vikshepa. Once this root is uprooted, it is mukti. And this is what you have to awaken to. It's already there. You're already Brahman. Satchitananda is already there. You can never become Satchitananda. You can never become enlightened. You can only drop the notion that you're ignorant. When you drop the ignorance, what remains is enlightenment. By that standard, there is no enlightened being. That's why when Buddha got enlightened, somebody asked him what happened. He said, when I got enlightened, I realized that the whole world is enlightened. That there is no unenlightenment in the world. What you are is what you see. If you are rooted in ignorance, you see the whole world is ignorant. Even the Krishna appears to be ignorant. Even the God appears to be with problems. That's why we superimpose our own images on God. I have a body, God also has a body. I have wife and children, God also has wife and children. I have problems of anger, God also has problems of anger. You start superimposing everything that you experience on supreme reality. Right? So if somebody does a mistake, I don't tolerate. So that means if I do a mistake, God won't tolerate. So all these notions, you're living with all these notions about how life works. None of it is real. So just see what belief systems you're carrying, how you're living your life. If that is keeping you at peace and happy, joyful, it's okay. The moment you start becoming disturbing, you start questioning. Shanti Bhushanji, what is Maya?
Versus Maya. Everything.
So Adi Shankaracharya goes on to say, even mukti is Maya. What is this mukti for Brahman? If you are Brahman, can Brahman never get mukti? There is no concept of bandhana for Brahman. That's why he declares, I am aham nirvikalpo nirakara rupo shivoham shivoham. This concept of mukti and bondage is Maya. So Buddha had a huge burden of Maya called enlightenment. So Siddhartha left the kingdom in search of enlightenment. And he got enlightened when he dropped the notion of mukti. So he tried everything. For 6 years, he tried everything to get enlightened. Nothing worked. And the night that he got enlightened, he dropped the notion of enlightenment. You understand? In the story that comes as Mara, there's a demon called Mara who comes and who tries to charm and get Siddhartha attached. And he doesn't react to anything. So Mara means all the thought patterns, all thoughts, they keep arising. And Siddhartha was just a Sakshi. Then finally, the thought of enlightenment arises. And he doesn't react to that. Then he becomes enlightened. If he reacts to that, if he says, oh, I want enlightenment, that means, again, he is bound. If he said, I want enlightenment, you are superimposing yourself as something else that you're not Brahman. You understand? You've shifted from Brahman. Your position is somewhere else. The moment you take the position as Brahman, even enlightenment you become Sakshi to it. You understand? And the more you become Sakshi, the more you become Sakshi. To become Sakshi is mukti. That's all. You become Sakshi, you declare, you live moment to moment as Brahman, that itself is enlightenment. And the more you do it, what happens is the enlightenment flowers in, it blossoms more and more. So there are, the scriptures talk about enlightened beings as 4 types of people, categories of people. Brahmavid, Brahmavara, Brahmavarenya, Brahmavarishta. Okay, it's not like hierarchy. It's not Brahmavid, Brahmavara, Brahmavarenya, Brahmavarishta. No, Brahmavid, Brahmavara, Brahmavarenya, Brahmavarishta. All of them are, it's enlightened being only, but their Vikshepas are different, or their reaction to Vikshepas are different. None of them have Avarna. All 4 have lost Avarna, but their response to Vikshepa is different. Okay, to give an example, Brahmavid's example is Krishna. Krishna is fully established in Brahman, but he is involved fully with the world. Okay, because Krishna says, I don't have to, there's no, this materialism and spirituality is still the illusion of the mind. In Brahman, everything is Brahman. Even gold is Brahman, even mud is Brahman. So why should I reject something? There's no rejection, absolute non-rejection. Complete acceptance of life as it is. So that's why you see Krishna fully involved. He's fully involved in politics, fully involved with women, fully involved in music, fully involved with people. At no point he'll tell, I am Brahman, why do I need all this? There's no escapism. You know, that is the beauty of Krishna. Purna. That's why it's called Purna Avatar. No inhibitions. Because I am Brahman. So what if I indulge in something? Will I lose something? Will Brahman become less Brahman if I indulge in politics? So I will bring the qualities of Brahman in politics. That is the attitude of Krishna, Brahmavid. Then there is Brahmavid, Brahmavara. Brahmavara means their tendencies or the Vikshepa to associate with the world have reduced. So they withdraw. So Buddha is the example of Brahmavara. Buddha was already a prince, Siddhartha. He's already explored the exterior. And he says all this is unnecessary. He cuts off all the unnecessary interactions and only focuses on Atma. So for 40 years, he focused on teaching of Atma. Didn't get into anything else. So that is Brahma Vara. They withdraw themselves from unnecessary interactions. Is everybody following? Brahmavid, Brahmavara. Brahmavarenya is the more tendencies are burnt out. They cannot interact with the world too much. So they become a recluse. They go into the caves or the mountains. So Ramana Maharshi is the case of Brahmavarenya. They don't move. What if something comes to them? They interact. But there's no active engagement of any sort. Buddha was actively engaged. He was traveling on foot all across the country teaching. Ramana Maharshi doesn't move. If somebody wants to learn, they'll come here. Okay. So more withdrawal. Brahma Varishta is when all the mind has become so pure, so the mind is completely merged that they cannot even associate with the body. See, they cannot even eat food. They become like a child. Somebody has to come and feed them. Because they don't get a thought that I need to eat and preserve the body also. They're so they are Brahman. All of them are Brahman. But the mind is completely merged. It's very hard to say in words, but this is the external behaviors. Brahmavid, Brahmavara, Brahmavarenya, Brahmavarishta. That is why we see the differences in the behavior of the enlightened beings. There's no behavior, there's no difference in the Gnana, the establishment in Brahman. There is only difference in the Vikshepa. And why there's a difference is because of their momentum, of the way they attain Gnana. Is it clear? Meenakshi ji is silent. Any question, Meenakshi ji?
No, Krishna.
Yeah, everybody I think can go on unmute and have a discussion on of what you understood and what is clear, what is not clear. Is Maya clear?
Yes.
Don't think Maya means the external world. Maya means your unwanted thought patterns. To be free from that is mukti. And the deepest unwanted thought pattern you have is, I am not mukta. I am not enlightened. You only need to cross over one thought to stay in reality. Okay? You can either do it by asking, who am I? Or you can do it by, I am Brahman. You can either question, who am I? Or directly say, I am Brahman, and stay as Brahman. And whatever, if some thought comes, or how can you be Brahman? If you're Brahman, can you do some magic? Can you increase my bank balance? Just, if such thought pattern comes, ask, who is asking? I am Brahman. Become a sakshi to the arising vikshepas, and avarna you destroy by self-inquiry or a direct statement of I am Brahman. You can say I am Brahman, or I am Shiva, or I am consciousness. And when you say the words I am Brahman, I am Shiva, I am consciousness, don't visualize a physical form of Shiva or God. Go back, your mental reference should be, if you need a mental reference, your mental reference should be your experience of deep sleep. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Always refer to the self of the deep sleep. Okay? Without a body, existence, bliss. That is what you are at any given moment. That is what you are now, that you were last lifetime, that is what you will be next lifetime, that is what you will be indefinitely, because you cannot change. Okay, with that, we conclude our discussion on Maya. If there are any questions, we can take, or else we can sit silently for some time and then we can close. Any questions? Is it clear? Pallavaji, who understood? Yeah? Okay.
Complete silence.
So if you're able to hold on to this, this is the light that I was talking about, the lantern, the light of Gnana. And the light of Gnana will burn all karma. And it will illumine the next step. It will show you the next step. You don't have to think, okay, I got it, I understood now, but will I have it when I experience something, maybe some accident or something in the future? Will I have the same knowledge? How do I remain peaceful? All that is the thought of the mind. You will face every situation when it comes. Whenever it comes, it comes in the present moment. You only need this light, and this light will illumine all present moments. Okay, so you just have to distinguish what is present moment, what is past and future. Just not pay attention to the past and future thoughts. Just pay attention to the present. Is it relevant now? At this moment, what is relevant? And at this moment, you are Sat Chit Ananda. Not bad. In 6 classes, we made you Sat Chit Ananda. Any doubts? Any doubt that you are not Satchitananda? Is anybody still feel that they are not Satchitananda? Pradeep, clear?
Yes.
Pradeep?
Yes.
Wave, particle? Both wave and particle are Maya.
Yeah.
Only consciousness is real. Don't break your head about wave and particle. Let the scientists worry. No? They have all the millions of dollars and grants and everything. If somebody gives you some $1 million, you worry about it. Break your head. Why free of course you want to worry about wave and particle? Worry about consciousness.
Just be Sakshi.
That's all. Sakshi. Tanvi, what did you understand?
I understood that everything is Maya basically.
Everything is Maya.
Yeah,
Okay, who are you?
a consciousness.
Wow. ज्योति जी देखो एक और ज्योति जल गई. And this is called Atma Jyoti. Okay, this is the Jyoti, this light, this gnana. This is what Buddha told when he was dying. The last teaching of Buddha to his disciples: Atma Deepo Bhava. Be the light onto yourself. You are the light. You are consciousness. The world and the light, the beauty of light is the fire. Fire has two qualities, very similar to consciousness. That's why we worship fire as consciousness. That's why in all the Vedic rituals, we have the holy fire. That fire represents Brahman, Sakshat Brahman. So fire has two qualities: to burn whatever comes in contact or is brought close, and to illumine. So it illumines objects, and if you bring the object close to the fire, it consumes and burns it. Okay, so you are the fire. You illumine the world. And if you take back your thoughts to your true self, they get burnt. And what remains is fire. And that fire is called Atma Jyoti. Okay. Viplavji, clear?
Yes.
ये कृष्णा यही बोल रहा है भगवद गीता में. मैंने सिर्फ मॉडर्न लैंग्वेज में बोला है. Beena, clear? Mohan, where is Mohan? Mohan has become invisible. Nirvikalpa, Nirakara.
Clear, but yeah, it takes time to consume.
It takes time. that is also Maya. Time itself is, I told you about time in Maya, no? That 30 seconds of dream. How much time will it take to get enlightened?
Just like the flash of the light.
So this moment alone is real. The moment you say that, that's what happens in any other tradition, which is even in the tradition of yoga or tradition of bhakti. What they do is they postpone enlightenment, they put enlightenment to a future point. I will get enlightened after I do all these things. That's why the Upanishads clarify: na karmana, na prajaya, tyage naikena amritatva manushu. Enlightenment is not any time in the future. It is here and now. If you don't get it here and now, it will never happen in the future because future doesn't exist. Clear? So we'll sit silently for some time. Okay. So we will address both Avarna and Vikshepa in the dhyana. This is not called dhyana. This is called Nidhidyasa. Okay. Vedanta is Shravana, Manana, Nidhidyasa. Shravana means hearing the truth. Manana means internalizing the truth. Nidhidyasa means getting established in the truth. Nidhi means wealth. Nidhidyasa means I've got the wealth. I'm just going to hold to the wealth. Okay. The Guru has given the instruction. I'll just hold to that, nothing else. So this is not dhyana. This is not meditation in that sense. You are just holding to the truth that I am Brahman. And you keep your attention in the heart center, because the heart center is where your feeling of I arises. Your feeling of I is here. You say I. You don't say I. You don't say I. You say I. The feeling of I is here. And here it becomes something else. I am woman, I am man, I am employee, I am citizen. All that is here. So take your attention to pure I am, feeling, uncorrupted. And any thought comes, go back to the feeling of I am. Vikshepa, don't even respond to. Non-reaction to Vikshepa, non-reaction to any Avarna. Just pure Sakshi. And if you get too many thoughts, just say I am Brahman and go back to the feeling of I. That feeling of I is Satchidananda. That itself is Satchidananda. That will not go. That didn't go in waking, that didn't go in dream, that didn't go in deep sleep. And that will not go after death also. The death of the body will not make the feeling of I disappear, because that is Satchidananda, pure consciousness. Okay? So close your eyes. Become aware of the heart center, the center of your chest, where you have the feeling of I. You can visualize as if you are swallowing your mind through your throat and it lands up in the chest. Keep your attention there. Have the feeling, it's just a reality that I am pure consciousness, Brahman. Sat, Chit, Ananda, without any form or qualities or attributes. The mind becomes like a silent lake, free from unwanted thoughts and thoughts. Just allow it to settle down and you will see in the silence of the mind the pure self. I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am not the thoughts. I am not the feelings. I am the Sakshi of them all. I am Brahman. I am pure and infinite. My nature is peace and bliss. Loka samastha
Loka samastha
Sukhino bhavantu.
Sukhino bhavantu.
Loka samastha
Loka samastha
Sukhino bhavantu.
Sukhino bhavantu.
Loka samastha
Loka samastha
Sukhino bhavantu.
Sukhino bhavantu.
Harihi Om.
Hari Om.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Harihi Om.
Hari Om.
Slowly open your eyes. So today is also the birthday of Mata Amritandamayi. So I offer today's session to the lotus feet of Mata Amritandamayi. So were you able to experience yourself as Brahman or Pallaviji?
I was just trying to keep my mind not floating, just to be in the present. I will try to follow that henceforth strictly.
Okay. Was the mind peaceful?
Yes.
So the peaceful mind is the self. So Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa used to say, mind itself is the self. When the mind moves, it's called as the mind. When the mind becomes silent, it is the self. So silent mind is God. That's all. Meenakshi ji?
Complete darkness. Nothing.
Darkness, okay. Was the mind peaceful?
Yes.
Okay. Pradeep?
Yeah, it was peaceful. I was concentrating on the chest area.
Okay.
I was just living in the present.
Very good. Shanti Bhushan ji?
Yeah, it was peaceful. I almost, fell asleep. Yeah, with these
Okay.
teachings, it helps me to focus. Keeping my mind blank.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you will get a sense that you are falling asleep, but that's not sleep. That's called Yoga Nidra, wherein you are not asleep, but you are as if you are in deep sleep. There's no thought, no sensation, no word, but you are in your true state. The mind has become silent. You might think it is sleep, or you might feel, when in retrospect, you might say, I think I was sleeping, but it's not so. That is what is called as Gnana Samadhi. Have you heard this word called Samadhi?
Yeah.
Samadhi means the mind has become balanced. It's become tranquil because of Gnana. Tanvi?
It was good. It helped to focus.
Yeah. Mind is peaceful?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Mohan?
Tea.
Yeah, mind is peaceful? Were you able to do? I couldn't see you on the screen then. Yeah.
People are talking here, but I was trying to do it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Viplavji?
Yes, very much peaceful.
Yeah. Jyoti ji? मन शांत हो गए. Pratik?
Yes, it was peaceful and the mind went silent.
Beena?
Yeah, there were zero thoughts. Complete silence.
Very nice. So don't wait or expect to be in a certain external situation to do this or to become aware. You can be in the most crowded or busiest or noisiest place and hold on to the self. Okay, so the more you connect back to your true self, the more that starts radiating from your body mind, from the instrument. Okay, otherwise you're only interacting with the world with the filter. So you need to go back more and more, so that at one point you go and don't come back. Okay, enlightenment is not you go and get enlightened and come back. No. Enlightenment, you go and you don't come back. That is enlightenment. One who comes back is Bhagavan. Okay. So enlightenment is death of the ego, death of the mind, death of the Avarna and Vikshepa. It is the real death. The death that you know is just a changing of some dress, changing of the body. Transition. The real death is this. And your story will continue, journey will continue as long as you don't die like this. As long as you don't die in Nidhidyasa, in Gnana.
True.
So Atma Gnana is death of the ego. So if you want to die, you can attend the next class. Okay. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Krishnaji.
Hari Om. Thank you, Krishnaji.
Thank you, Krishnaji.
Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Thank you, Krishnaji.